I'm Kira Morgan, along with Jason Wilson, bringing you your local news from around the Central Oregon coast. From Oregon Coast Breaking News and Lincoln County News Source.
The future of motorized boating on the Siletz River near Jack Morgan Park is up for debate. The Oregon State Marine Board held a public hearing on proposed rule changes that could restrict where and how motors are used on the river. Dozens of tribal members, local residents, and fishing guides weighed in. Kira Morgan has the story.
I do. So, Jason, at the center of this debate is a stretch of the Siletz River that's near Jack Morgan Park and Old Mill Park. Now, the Marine Board is considering some new rules that would limit motorized boating use in this area. Supporters say it's about protecting fish, habitat, and tribal culture, but opponents say it will damage access, safety, and local livelihoods.
The Marine Board launched this rulemaking after receiving a petition from the Confederated Tribe of Siletz Indians. The tribe asked the state to prohibit motorized boats above Jack Morgan Park. After a rule advisory committee process and earlier public comment, staff brought forward proposed rules at the board's April 23rd meeting. These proposed rules are not yet in effect and serve as a starting point for public discussion. The hearing was one step in a longer process. A final decision could come at the Marine Board meeting in Madras, July 30th. Written comments will be taken until July 20th.
Lincoln County District Attorney Jenna Wallace has urged the state parole board to keep convicted killer Michael Butler behind bars 46 years after the murder of a 14-year-old Sherwood girl, Charmel Ulrich. Butler was convicted in Lincoln County for her aggravated murder and rape after she was abducted in Washington County and killed on a remote forest road about 20 miles east of Woldport. He and two co-defendants, who are also serving life sentences for Charmel's murder, and three were convicted in separate Washington state case involving the murder of an elderly man. The parole board decided that Butler should remain in jail. He will be able to apply again for parole in 8 years. We will talk about summer safety on the coast right after this break from our sponsor, the Barge Inn on the Newport Bayfront. As more visitors are here on the coast for the summer, hikers and visitors to the coast are reminded to stay on designated trails while exploring coastal areas. Venturing off established trails can quickly lead to dangerous situations, requiring complex rescue operations. We're grateful to have the resources we have here with our emergency responders, the rope rescue team, and U.S. Coast Guard helicopter, which has saved countless lives here on the Central Oregon coast. Visitors are reminded when visiting the beach that waves can come up suddenly, and you should never turn your back on the ocean. And if you are visiting the beach, make sure that you know the local tide tables, and they are available on the tide table books at many local shops.
Friends of Lincoln County Animals and the Lincoln County Animal Shelter celebrated a major milestone for local animal care. Thanks to a generous donation from Folca's, the shelter's brand new surgery suite and recovery room is now fully equipped and officially open. This means animals entering the shelter can now receive essential surgical care, like spays and neuters at the Lincoln County Animal Shelter. Kira met with the Lincoln County Animal Shelter. She had this to say.
I'm Kara Morgan here with Ashley. She's with the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office and works at the Animal Shelter.
One thing we're really excited about is our surgery suite. It has a lot of the newest and up-to-date technology in there for doing our spay and neuters, which we're really excited about. And I'm sure what we'll talk about in a little bit is Focus has helped us with buying and providing a lot of that medical equipment and paying for our spay and neuters that we do. So Focus is obviously a big integral part of why our shelter is even still here. So from my knowledge, in 2009, it was kind of looking like they were going to close down the shelter. And the community really rose up and was like, we don't want this. So they got Focus to created, and they got a bill that helped raise money to start this shelter, which is really cool. And we are pretty unique in the fact that we are run under a sheriff's office. So it is a little different sometimes. For us, we always make sure we have space for those animals that come in under protective custody and strays. That's what we're here to do, is provide those services for the animals.
This means no more transporting pets to other cities for these services. This upgrade allows animals to get procedures done sooner, recover faster, and become available for adoption more quickly, helping them to find their forever homes without extended shelter stays. You can view animals up for adoption and learn how you can support the shelter on their Facebook page. And we'll hear more about a new canine at the Newport Police Department right after this break from our sponsor, Pioneer Printing.
Well, fancy suit you've got there. You lost or selling something?
Not selling, storytelling through design.
Storytelling? Underwater? Every brand needs a voice. Business cards that make a splash, stationery that builds trust,
And brochures that open doors.
Effective. Got anything for sharks? Even you need good branding to stay sharp.
Not bad, Landwalker. Pioneer Printing, huh? You might just reel in the big fish.
Pioneer Printing, a beacon so bright, shining by the sea in the harbor's light.
After announcing the retirement of canine Zoe, the Newport Police Department announced that they have a new department canine who will be working on drug detection. Canine Tommy joined the Newport Police Department in February of this year after previously serving the Benton County Sheriff's Office for narcotics detection. Now, Tommy's a mixed breed Springer Spaniel who detects cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, and methamphetamine. Tommy is partnered with Officer Eshelman. The team has been certified by the Oregon State Police Canine Association since April of this year.
The Oregon Coast Aquarium opened Amazon Basin, an adventure for the senses, immersing visitors in one of Earth's most biodiverse ecosystems through sight, sound, smell, and touch. Guests explore 5 distinct ecoregions: the terra firma rainforest, flooded forest, river and river banks, savanna, and cloud forest. Dozens of species are featured, many appearing at the aquarium for the first time. Animals on display include red-bellied piranhas, a rainbow boa, an electric eel, and a mata-mata turtle.
One of the early breakout stars is Chowder, the aquarium's Argentine black and white tegu. That's a charismatic, remarkably intelligent lizard from the savannah. Now, this changing exhibit runs through January 2nd of 2028 and features the largest collection of animals in a temporary exhibit at the aquarium in decades. Entries included with general admission. Locals are reminded that on Sunday, with your ID, you can get in for just $5. We'll take a look at some political news right after this break from Clearwater.
In political news, a federal judge has ordered Lincoln County to restore Commissioner Casey Miller to the enjoyment of the regular rights and prerogatives of his elected office, while leaving unresolved a broader dispute over how Board of Commissioners agenda items are set. In a Eugene hearing of Miller versus Lincoln County, U.S. District Judge Ann Aiken granted Miller's request for a preliminary injunction in part. Her oral order requires the county to restore Miller's former courthouse office access, regular meetings, and communications that a commissioner would normally receive. Lincoln County Commissioners adopted the county's 2026-27 budget after a process that raised questions about draft changes, audit findings, financial system access, and the public's ability to review a 330-page spending plan before final approval. At least 3 versions of the proposed budget circulated during the process. An early version listed the proposed budget for Lincoln County and its 5 special districts at $216.6 million, a 4.2% increase over the current amended budget. Later versions listed the total at $213.6 million, a 3% increase.
The Lincoln County Children's Advocacy Center of Lincoln County received a generous gift of support for children. We'll have more details right after this from our sponsor, Rise, Grab, and Go. On June 28th, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office responded to a crash on Nashville Road in Eddyville involving a motorcycle and an Oregon State Police Fish and Wildlife Patrol vehicle. Deputies determined that the motorcycle was being operated by a 13-year-old juvenile with a second 13-year-old juvenile passenger. Based on the initial investigation, the juveniles entered the roadway from private property where the Oregon State Police Patrol vehicle was driving through the area, and the motorcycle crashed into the passenger side of the patrol vehicle. The 13-year-old passenger suffered significant damage to his left leg and foot and was transported to Samaritan Hospital in Corvallis for treatment of his injuries.
Emergency responders were dispatched to a reported missing swimmer in the remote area of the Siletz River Gorge in Logsdon, about 2 miles upstream of Moonshine Park. Bystanders reported witnessing a male swimmer jumping off the rocks and having trouble returning from the river. 18-year-old Dallas Davis of Newport was recovered from the river. This incident is being investigated as a drowning. There was a GoFundMe page set up to assist his family.
Oregon State Police bias crime investigation culminated in an officer-involved shooting. The investigation was focused on an incident that occurred on June 11th at the intersection of Highway 101 and Siletz Highway 229 at a fruit stand. Oregon State Police had developed probable cause to arrest Daniel Edward Noonan for various bias crimes and were seeking to arrest him when the use of force occurred. When officers contacted Noonan, he reportedly engaged them in gunfire. Officers responded with deadly physical force. Noonan was critically injured during the exchange and received emergency medical care. He was transported to a nearby hospital where he was declared deceased. No law enforcement personnel or community members were injured during the incident, which is still under investigation.
The City of Lincoln City Parks and Recreation celebrated the latest updates at Discovery Park with the installment of a stage, a donor wall, restrooms, and a mural. They held the opening celebration on the kickoff of Pride in the Park. Parks and Recreation Director Jenny Sprague thanked those who made the expansion possible.
Lincoln County Board of Commissioners recently voted to purchase Don Lindley Park in Tidewater that was previously operated by Lincoln County Parks under a lease agreement from the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. Commissioners approved an order authorizing the purchase of the 10-acre former recreational vehicle park on the south bank of the Siletz River at milepost 7 on Highway 34. Now, the purchase was possible because of a $320,000 gift from an anonymous donor. With those funds, the county bought the property for $250,000 and also was able to repay a grant from the Oregon State Marine Board that had been received under the understanding that the park would be developed for motorized use.
The American Legion Riders Saturday, June 27th, escorted thousands of stuffed animals down the Oregon coast from Lincoln City to Newport, honoring a fallen member while supporting children and veterans. Robert Dakar, state director for the American Legion Riders in Oregon, led the ride to deliver the comfort items to the Children's Advocacy Center of Lincoln County.
That toy run on the Oregon coast was created in memory of Jack Bailey, a member of the American Legion Riders Post 21 in McMinnville. Now, he died in a crash a little over 4 years ago while riding in a toy run to Bend. After his death, riders from across the state decided to launch the annual event in his honor. Now, the Legion also did a pass the hat and gave the center over $1,200 to support children who are referred to the program, which helps children suffering from suspected abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, and trafficking.
That's your news update. I'm Jason Wilson along with Kira Morgan. Thank you for joining us as we keep you informed. For the latest local news from across Lincoln County and the Central Oregon Coast, go to OregonCoastBreakingNews.com or LincolnCountyNews.org.
And a special thanks to our sponsors who make this video newscast possible: Clearwater Restaurant,
Pioneer Printing,
The Barge Inn.
and Rise Grab and Go.
If you would like to support community journalism and local news, you can click on the donate button at LincolnCountyNews.org, or you can simply contact me about sponsorship opportunities through Oregon Coast Breaking News.